أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making it easy for us to join this session today. And today, inshallah, I'll just be talking about the concept of Idgham. And so last week, my name is Imam Muhammad, for those of you who do not know about me. And so we have different Quran reading programs at our academy for students who wants to learn to read fluently and those who wants to learn to memorize the Quran. And the minimum age entry is 5 years. So if you have a student or you yourself, you have experienced Quran reading stock, Quran recitation jam, or your child wants to learn to become a fluent Quran reciter, we have an accelerated Quran system that inshallah will help students learn to read the Quran within 6 weeks, inshallah. And so if you're much interested in this, let us know, and so that we can set it up for success, inshallah. So today, inshallah, we'll talk about Idgham. We'll talk about Al-Idgham. And so we talked about last week the first two rules of Nun Sakin and Tanween. And so we've talked about the rules of Mim Sakin, the rules of Idhar. We talked about the rules of Idhar, the rules of Ikhfa, right? The rules of Idhar and the rules of Ikhfa. And today, bismillah, we'll talk about briefly the rules of Idgham and how Idgham will actually look like, right? The rules of Idgham and how Idgham looks like. And so, based on the lessons we've learned so far, we had a session where we talked about Ghunna. So what is Ghunna? And how does Ghunna actually look like in the Quran? And what are the letters that will have Ghunna? What are the letters that will have Ghunna? And so Ghunna is a nasal sound, like I mentioned earlier in the previous sessions. So go back and watch the lessons from 2 weeks ago. You will see where I mentioned and described what Ghunna is and where Ghunna is pronounced out. And of course, how long does Ghunna get pronounced? These are some really important skills of Quran recitation that we all need to learn, because there are two categories of people who recite the Quran. There are those who recite the Quran and they make mistakes. So they make mistakes, but as they're making the mistakes, they are trying to perfect their recitation. Those people will get two rewards. They will get double rewards for actually learning to read and struggling at the same time. So learning to read and also struggling to read at the same time. And so they will get two rewards. So the first reward is the reward of recitation. And the second reward is the reward of struggling to read. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward, Rasulullah mentioned, those people will have the reward. And so if you don't know how to recite the Quran and you're striving to read it, then that is good, because you have the rewards. And so when you join us in this kind of lessons, in this kind of classes, you get to put yourself on that path. Although you cannot read fluently, you put yourself on that path of learning to become a fluent reciter. And along the way, reading the Quran fluently will bring more reward. And so those who can read fluently, the Rasul mentioned that they will be among the Safarat al-Kiram al-Barara, among, the Saf of the Malaika on the day of Qiyamah. How amazing will that be? And so that everyone of us will be in the Saf of the Malaika, be in the Saf of those Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are pleased with, be in the Saf of those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reckoned with. So my dear respected brothers in Islam, so learning to read the Quran is not something that we should take trivial. It's not something that we should, discount. Just take it as if it's nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us for doing this. So no matter what we have on earth and on life, nothing will take us, will go with us to grave, except our amal salihah. So Today we'll talk about Idgham. Idgham is a rule of nun sakin. And so when you pronounce Idgham, you have to make sure that the rules of Idgham is being applied. And so there are three rules of nun sakin and tanween. So nun sakin and tanween, it separates sections of signs and letters in the Quran. Then how do you pronounce them? How do you pronounce those kind of letters? How do you pronounce those kind of letters that have? So when you have a tanween, like we mentioned earlier, a nun sakin is a nun with nothing above it. A nun sakin is a nun with nothing above it. And a tanween is when you have a nun sakin. When you have a nun sakin that is written as double vowel sound. When you have a nun sakin written as double vowel sound, that is what? That is tanween. Right, that is tanween. And so how do you pronounce tanween? There are 4 ways of pronouncing tanween. So we've talked about the izhar. We talked about the idgham, ikhfa, and we talked about the idgham today. And so ikhfa that we revised last week was when you have 15 letters of the Quran, 15 of those letters of the Quran that they will be hidden. You know, the sound will be hiding. The sound will be hiding those 15 letters of the Quran. The sounds of the gunna will be hiding those letters of the Quran. And so 15 of them. Ta, tha, jim, dal, za, zain, sin, shin, sod, dod, ta, za, fa, qaf, and the kaf. And so these are the 15 letters of ikhfa. And these letters will be hiding under the tanween and the gunna of the nun sakin or tanween. But for idgham, it's different. Idgham, the letters is going to be merged. So idgham is when the tanween and the nun sakin is merged. When the tanween and nun sakin is merged into the next letter. When the tanween and nun sakin is merged into the next letter. And so we have 6 letters of idgham. And so it's really have a shadow-like situation of merging. So yarmaluna is all the letters. So that's an abbreviation of the letters of idgham. Ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and the nun. Right? Yarmaluna. So these are the letters of idgham. A ya, a ra, a mim, and what? A lam, a waw, and the nun. And so these are the letters of idgham. And so whenever you see them, you know that you will merge the tanween or the gunna of the nun sakin onto those letters. And idgham, there are 2 types of idgham. So we have idgham kamil, the idgham that is complete idgham, that you've got to do the gunna for 2 counts. You've got to do the gunna. And, you know, 4 letters of those 6 letters are part of that idgham with gunna, that will have the gunna. So there's some idgham that will not have gunna. There's some idgham that will not have gunna. So, for instance, now, an yuf'al, right? An yuf'al, an yuf'al. So, an yuf'al, when you have a letter of ya that's coming right after a tanween or coming right after a nun sakin. So this is called what? It's called idgham kamil. Idgham kamil. So you've got to do the merging, and the merging will be for 2 counts. So in between calling and pronouncing the letter of idgham and the nun sakin. An yuf'ala, right? That's how it will sound. An yuf'ala. So we are doing a merging between the nun sakin sound with the gunna and the tanween, right? So that's the merging that is happening there. An yuf'al, right? An yuf'al, an yuf'al, right? Nafkhatun wahidah, nafkhatun wahidah, right? Nafkhatun wahidah. You see that, right? Nafkhatun wahidah. Nafkhatun wahidah. So that is how it will sound. So the waw is having gunna. So because the merging of the tanween, the domateni together with the waw is called idgham. And so this duration will last for 2 counts, right? Nafkhatun wahidah. So that's how it will sound, right? Nafkhatun wahidah. Or the second example here. Yawma idhin na'imah. Right? Yawma idhin na'imah. Yawma idhin na'imah. You see that? Yawma idhin na'imah. Or عذابا مهينا. Right? عذابا مهينا. So the merging of the ghunna of the idgham together with the letter that comes out right after the letter of the idgham is going to be for 2 counts. Right? It's going to be for how many counts? For 2 counts. Right? And so all these letters, ya, mim, waw, noon, right? These are the letters of idgham with ghunna, idgham kamil. So I said idgham means merging. So merging is when you insert a letter into another letter, right? When you insert a letter into another letter. And so that is idgham. But idgham will be of 2 categories. We have idgham with ghunna and idgham without ghunna. Idgham with ghunna and idgham without ghunna. And so the idgham ghunna with ghunna is called idgham kamil or bi ghunna. There are 4 letters, and when those letters come right after a nun sakin, so a nun sakin is a nun that's silent, that have a sukun or has nothing. We've already learned that, and they will pronounce ghunna, they will produce ghunna. Or when you have any of those 4 letters, when they come right after a tanween or they come right after a nun sakin. When they come right after a tanween or a nun sakin. So they will be exhibiting the ghunna, and it's gonna be for 2 counts ghunna. So ya, mim, waw, and the noon. So lam and ra, which are not here, those ones are the letters of idgham without ghunna. So you do merging, but you not do any nasa pronunciation. I'll give an example in a bit, right? So this one is ayyuf'al. So the merging is gonna be for 2 counts. That's the ghunna count. يومئذ ناعمة. So the noon there is being merged together with the what? Is being merged together with the tanween, right? يومئذ ناعمة. يومئذ ناعمة. عذابا مهينا, right? عذابا مهينا. So that is how you pronounce idgham with ghunna, right? That's how you pronounce what idgham with ghunna. Okay, so let's check idgham without ghunna. So idgham without ghunna, there are 2 letters of the idgham that falls into that category. And you see, you don't pronounce with any sound. The sound will not be there. And that is anytime there's a lam or there's a ra that comes right after a nun sakin or that comes right after a tanween. You see that? So a nun sakin is a nun that's silent, like this kind of nun here. This is a nun sakin. This is a nun sakin, right? This is a tanween, this is domatani, and this is kesratani. So anytime you see a lam or a ra right after a nun sakin like this, or right after a tanween, you will not do ghunna. So you all have known what ghunna is. So check back the videos I've explained earlier on about what ghunna is in the Quran, how ghunna looks like. We talked about it, I think, 3 times or more than that. Ghunna is a sound, the sound is a nisa sound, and this sound is pronounced sometimes when you have a nun and a mim, right? When you have a nun and a mim. So that is when you pronounce the ghunna. And so ghunna is when you have a nun, a mim. Nun and mim are mostly related to ghunna, but sometimes when they have haraka, they will not be pronouncing ghunna. But tanween, naturally, all the time, we pronounce gunna, except in some situations, which we'll learn later on. So we've learned about izhar earlier on. So we're learning about idgham right now. So this one is walam yakullah, right? Walam yakullah, right? Walam yakullah, right? Walam yakullah, or la tazkiratu lil muttaqin, right? La tazkiratu lil muttaqin, right? La tazkiratu lil muttaqin. لَتَذْكِرَةٌ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So you don't pronounce the gunna here, right? لَتَذْكِرَةٌ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And so this one here, مِنْ رَبِّ, right? مِنْ رَبِّ, مِنْ رَبِّ, right? مِنْ رَبِّ, right? So you don't do the gunna, right? مِنْ رَبِّ. Or عيشة راضية, عيشة راضية, right? عيشة راضية, right? عيشة راضية, right? عيشة راضية. So the kasratani here will not have the gunna pronounced. So although the kasratani have gunna sound, is a tanween, but because a ra coming after it, this will prevent the gunna from coming out, right? So just let's recap the rules of idgham. Idgham means merging, and when you merge, you insert a letter into another letter. So those two letters must be adjacent letters that come right after each other. And so ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and nun, these are the letters of idgham. And so when you see this kind of a nun like this one, you always see a nun like this, or a tanween like this. So we've learned what a tanween is, we've learned what a nun sakin is. A nun sakin is a nun that could be completely, empty, nothing on it, no haraka on it, or it will have a afsakul sukun sometimes. And so when it has afsakul sukun, we've learned what rule is that going to be earlier. We learned it's going to be izhar. And so, but when it has nothing, like this one here is idgham. Or when you have the tanween written, like the way you all know it, the matani, fathatani, kasratani, tanween could be written somehow, like probably some of them will be written this way. I will already show that earlier on. So this is al-idgham, al-izhar. This one is going to be al-izhar, right? This will be al-izhar, right? This will be al-izhar. So, yeah, so 4 letters of the idgham will be for idgham with gunna. So pronounce with one sound for 2 counts. So you're going to pronounce with one sound for 2 counts. One sound with 2 counts, right? Pronounce with one sound for 2 counts. One sound for 2 counts, right? عيشة راضية, عيشة راضية, right? عيشة راضية, عيشة راضية, right? So you've got to pronounce the يومئذ ناعمة, يومئذ ناعمة, right? عذابا مهينا, right? عذابا مهينا, عذابا مهينا, right? عذابا مهينا. So you've got to do the ghunna, right? You've got to do the ghunna, right? عذابا مهينا. And so عذابا مهينا. And so that's how the rules of idgham kamil is going to sound, right? عذابا مهينا, or نفخة واحدة, right? So, but idgham naqis, which is the idgham that will not have, the ghunna, it's different. So you don't add ghunna. Mir Rabbi, right? Mir Rabbi, or عيشة راضية. So let's do some ayat examples from here. So like example here is when you have idgham kamil. when you have what? Idgham kamil. So an example here. وَالنَّخْلَ, right? وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتٍ لَهَا طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ, right? وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتٍ لَهَا وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتٍ لَهَا طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتٍ لَهَا طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ, right? طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ, right? So that is an example of idgham kamil here, and there's an example of idgham naqis here, right? So this one here, بَاسِقَاتٍ لَهَا, right? باسقات لها طلع نضيد تبصرة وذكرى لكل عبد منيب. So the meme here is for idgham kamil, right? عبد منيب تبصرة. So this wow here is coming right after tanween fathatain, and so that's gonna be idgham kamil, right? تبصرة وذكرى لكل عبد منيب. So these are the rules of idgham, and inshallah next week we're going to round up the rules of nun sakin and tanween and discuss al-iqlab inshallah. I hope this helps, and if you have questions and you would like to get to know more about our program and maybe enroll your child into Quran Reading Program that has the potentials to help your child learn the Quran reading fluency in just 4 months, reach out to me inshallah. I'll put a comment below this video and I'll get back to you as soon as possible inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.